How's it going, guys? Coffee here. Today I wanted to go over what I have been doing for my current Atlas strategy. And basically what that is right now is I am just trying to rush as much heist as possible. Well, not like fully giving it maps. Like I still have Abyss running on there and Harbinger and Expedition, just the bare minimum of them. But this is running Stream of Consciousness just because I am being lazy and I don't feel like buying scarabs. Um, but yeah, so pretty much with the prices of the items right now in Heist, with Simplex amulets, getting you anywhere from 180 to like 500 divines, depending if you get an eye level 84 or 85 drop. It just seems really hard to not be in Heist right now. Even if you get like the helical rings, those are selling for at least like 10 divine each, like after you split them. So those are a 20 divine drop as well. I've gotten a Simplex Amulet drop already. So I already got one, and I'm just basically working to try to get another one since the price has basically doubled since the last pair that I sold. Because you get it, and you can split it. When I got mine at the time, I sold them for 50 and 60 divines. And I checked 2 days later, and those same two, if I were to sell them a day later, it would have been 80 divines each. So I'm pretty sure at this point the price has already gone up again. So by the time this is posted, it's going to continue to go up because these are like the actual endgame amulets for basically almost every build out there right now. So if you did want to actually refine this to where you were just focusing on heist, nothing else, you could either do this with stream of consciousness, just the same way, and you could just literally put everything else into quantity or whatever and not even really think about anything else. You wouldn't need to put points in anything else. I'm putting stuff in Abyss just because Abyss with the league mechanic is still really profitable. But if you really just wanted to be in Heist, it would probably be even better to just not even focus on any of this stuff and just straight take Heist, find like a map like Mesa or something, just grab the boxes and move on to the next map. Purely and rogue markers are going to be making your money back because all you're paying for is you're paying for the one sextant here, which costs 1C per map for extra smugglers caches. And then with the 7th gate, you are running Heist, which is 6 chaos. But again, the 2 smugglers caches are always going to give you at least 6 chaos orbs in rogue markers, just because rogue markers are like a little under 300 to 1 right now. So you're already making your money back on those, plus you're getting the contracts and everything else. Yeah, so let's go ahead and kind of show what this looks like here, and then we will take it from there. So if you did want to just run this strategy and to not even worry about actually running the high stuff yourself, I'm sure the value of running the heist stuff right now, like I'm sure it sells for a decent amount. So if you did just actually want to sell it, you could do that. What am I missing? It's like there's something missing from Q here. I don't know why. Oh, I forgot. I was in the middle of debating to make a swap here to run a. I was gonna run a Spectre setup, and I forgot I was gonna do it because I left to go eat some food. But we don't need to do that right now. Let's go ahead and get some juice here to feed this. Looks like this line is still going here. It's transitioning to blue. Hopefully we get another blue event to add onto this yellow here. Be very nice. Nice, we did. Yeah, so with the league mechanic being as profitable as it is as well, it's kind of hard to not be doing this, which is why I'm not fully just like outright doing heist and only heist. But it is the majority of my focus still. Like, I expect most of my money to come from that for my build, especially just because this build doesn't have like infinite currency or infinite clear, right? Like I'm sitting at maybe 16 million DPS at most. So compared to some of the other builds that want to actually just sit in maps the whole time, that can chain clear like even faster, anything with explosions, for example, those ones are probably going to be better off. Let's see if we can find some more of this. I thought there was purple juice somewhere here. So let's go ahead and find it. More yellow. Get our scraps over here. I think this is good enough. We can just dive in now. But as you can see here, I've been averaging over 1 blueprint per map like this already. Blueprints are, I level 83 blueprints right now. I'm pretty sure selling for about 20 chaos. Last I looked. So if you're just getting those alone, you're already making your money back just off of caches. So if you really wanted to just speedrun the strat with anything else, with nothing else, you could always just do that instead, and just literally forget about everything else. You'd be running these maps a lot faster if you're not actually going in and empowering the mobs and everything. But I don't mind interacting with the league mechanic. I've never really been one about just be like, oh, I need to be doing like the most hyper efficient strategy, possible. I typically will go with whatever kind of seems fun at the time, and I'm enjoying my time with Heist enough right now that yeah, I'm doing it. Basically, having a build with Defiance of Destiny in it for starters just helps so much with ensuring that you can basically never die in Heist. I don't have to even wait for the traps. I can just run right through almost all of them. Like the degen trap is the only one I'll actually take the time to do though. But like the lasers or like even the bombs that are on the ground, I can show you. You can basically just run right through them on this, which is really nice. So, check with your build that you can actually do that before you do it. It's not just Defiance of Destiny that's doing that. This character has like crazy max hit that it can take. So, as you can see here, the amount of markers, like I'm getting 2 chaos and markers per chest here, alone, off of all this stuff. I really do need to fix my filter as well. So as you can see, these are definitely paying for themselves very, very quickly over anything else. So many quest markers, or so many quest contracts in there too. But don't need those. Let's go grab this Abyss now. So if you haven't seen from a prior video, again, I also go over the fact recommending to use a corpse explosion here, like Warcry, as you see, that's the explosion right there. So whenever I do Enduring Cry here, the majority of the screen, whatever is left, will blow up. So, which is great for Abyss, because like Abyss will spit out like a ton of monsters, and then there will typically be these like some juicy, really hard or tanky rares left, and then you click this and it just basically will pop everything else at the end of it. Which again, really nice to have some extra clear for those. And when I work right here, everything should pop. Yeah, there we go. Oh, they're divine. So much tiny currency. Really need to fix this filter. It's like, realistically at this point in the league, like anything less than a fusing or a chaos, I really probably shouldn't even be picking up, but it's okay. Again, Enduring Cry here in a second once it pops. So if you do look at the atlas that I do have the ability for the troves to drop items with abyssal sockets in them. Those are just useful because, again, right now, people are still buying like the weapons, the one-handed weapons with an abyss socket. I'm pretty sure you can still sell those for about 50 chaos, so it's nice little money or without anything special or having to go too out of your way. That's 2 blueprints there. It's already 40 chaos and blueprints. And that's not abnormal to be getting that much. So I'll have to do like an actual map testing literally just doing that, skipping the league mechanic, everything else. Fixing your filter to where you're literally just looking at like quivers and bows probably for this. Would probably save you a ton of time on these, but I'm just gonna have to clear these because too many items. Yeah. Most of this stuff needs to not be in my filter. All these transmutes, man. Oh, a triple empowered guy here. I will actually do him. He'll pay for himself. So on this build right now, I currently end up actually killing myself more so casting my own Penance brand than I do end up actually taking damage from mobs. So just gotta be careful when I'm clicking it too many times. And then running Big Bomb Explosion here. I do not want to be immune to fire, but everything else is fine. Wait, oh, there's another immune to fire over there. Unfortunate. Click. There we go. These are good. The explosion thing definitely helps here as well. So after I kill a few of these, I'll go ahead and I'll right click. Pop. There's everything. So that Warcry corpse pop thing is actually very, very useful. Very much comes in handy. I'll have to come back for this loot because my inventory is full. Warcry again. Oh, there's actually not that many corpses left, I guess. Let's go ahead and finish this. Yeah. So again, when you do get juicy league mechanics like this with a ton of filter, with a ton of guys, it's kind of hard to like deny the profitability of it, you know, like with the league mechanic. It is really fun to be getting like multiple divine drops per run. These triple empowered monsters are very, very profitable when you get them, so it's fun enough to interact with the league mechanic that even though the heist setup with just pure heist might actually be more profitable. And like if you just have a really fast build that can't really do juicy mobs, then honestly that's going to be the way to go, right? You'll probably have a better time doing that than you will with something else, but I mean, to each their own. So, yeah, I'll show some heist footage now over just showing the build for heist and kind of what I do, and then we'll take it from there. So, if you're actually looking to be running heist here, you want to be either just be running your deception contracts and your perception contracts. Deception and perception, whatever you got. Deception are faster typically, and they give more div cards. But then we got perception as well. If your build is not super tanky, then I recommend just running these with like white. But I mean, with this build, I can run them on anything. It doesn't matter. But for this, you want to make sure you're running Gianna. If you can find a brooch here that gives you chance to duplicate contain divination cards, that's going to be your best because you are basically going to be opening pretty much only the divination card or jewelry, strong boxes, things like that. Everything else I have is basically just job speed. Here, job speed, and then some job speed here as well. I'm just trying to basically speed things up. But pretty much what you want to be doing, if you do have a phasing flask, you want to run that. Oh, this one's actually too high for Gianna, so I actually don't even want to run this. Because I only want to be able to run these with Gianna. So Gianna only goes up to 2 for perception. If you can buy like the thing that gives her +1 level, you can. That's like a hardcore like heister kind of thing, but I wouldn't focus on it unless, like, again, you're just trying to live in heist permanently. It's not a big deal. You'll typically get enough deception contracts to run anyways. I'm taking this here just so I can get high value targets as well, just because these turn into a lot of rogue markers that you can use. Alternatively, you can just be buying your rogue markers and not be getting any unveils with Gianna. So it really comes down to personal preference. For myself, I will basically look to see how many of these rooms there are here, whether or not I need to be saving or opening other chests in between. And we'll just go ahead and again take the... Most of the time I don't even really pick up the jewels, but there are times I do. Depends if I accidentally click on it, to be honest. Most of the time I don't actually bother with it. So let's go ahead and get this. So you get some stack decks, and other than that, I'm just going to keep opening the chests that are on the way. The best thing about running deception contracts after this is, like, perception, the doors are going to end up locking on the way back out. But deception won't. So, like, once you grab the thing at the very end in deception, you can literally just run all the way out. I'm going to unlock both these doors, and then I'll go back and I'll grab that div thing real fast before I do this. It's close enough. You can go grab that. Grab this. Let's go ahead and get out. The job speed really helps with the door stuff, because that's the game here, right? We're playing doors. But if you can get a build that has that you can squeeze Defiance of Destiny in, I highly recommend it. It will save you a ton of time and energy, like not having to worry about getting like randomly one shot by a lot of the little hits. And then for cases like the trap rooms, like either the bomb traps or the laser traps, you can just run right through them on most builds with this. I would double check to make sure you at least have some physical defense. This build converts all the physical damage taken into chaos or elemental, so part of that, the tankiness might be from that. And then every couple maps you can go ahead and just sell these. Those will be about 2,000 to 3,000 markers each. So I'll go ahead and I'll show you a deception now. It's going to be basically similar, except you're going to notice again once the contract is done, there will be no doors that will be locked at the end. So they're all like front-loaded doors, I guess. Which I mean, it doesn't really matter each one way or the other, but I think deception sells for more because they're more likely to, I believe, have the div card ones over perception. But if you like look and bulk sell these, I'm pretty sure these are like maybe 7 to 10 chaos per contract. So personal preference if you want to be opening these or running these or just selling stuff, that is completely up to you. I don't typically bother with the armor rooms. Like I'll do the jewelry just for synth jewelry just because that has a pretty high value. But other than that, I'm just going to open these smaller chests here because it gives you increased chances at stacked decks. And then we're just going to basically run to the end here. Open the one door that we do, or the two doors, I guess, that we have here. And then we'll just be able to sprint right out afterwards. See if anything. Nope, nothing in the safes that's worthwhile. And yeah, from here we can literally just sprint out. We don't have to worry about anything. There will be no more doors that are shut. If you do want to farm these for XP, you can, but you don't have to. And this is why, again, this is why deception contracts will typically sell for way more than the other ones, or than perception or anything else. But pretty much everything what you're running, you're trying to run it for Gianna, because when you're going to do blueprint reveals, she will give you 40% off. So say if we were to like reveal something here, like on this blueprint, if I were to use Wakano for it, for example, this is going to be costing like 4,000. So this would be what, 10, 13 chaos or something per room to unveil that. But with Gianna here, that lowers the cost again by 40%. So if we end up doing that with her, I typically won't bother even unveiling any of the other rooms or anything. If you can, or if you want to, you can, click on the div card ones. Those are typically always going to pay themselves back. Even with Wakano here, like this is going to probably pay itself back. Like what is this going to be? What, 5 chaos, 6 chaos worth of markers? So it really depends. It's up to you whether you want to do it. But I typically won't do it. And the other policy is I have basically is I will always run my blueprints white. Just because like the majority of the value of what you're going to get out of a blueprint is going to come from the final chests or from the curios, which are not affected by the item quantity on this at all. There's no effect. It doesn't change anything. All you're doing is basically risking the chance at losing 400 divines because you accidentally got one shot because of some mods. So to me, it's just not worth it to have the extra stuff. So I won't actually do those. Last thing in regards to actually running your grand heists here, if I'm going to be running Venderi, which is going to give it a chance to duplicate items, I typically will only run him if I have like a Tibbs or a Tibbs or Niles to get like free box openings, because Venderi basically makes it use a lot of alert to open up any of the chests. So if you are trying to actually open up all the chests, you typically have to pair Venderi with Niles or Tibbs in order to do it. And then when it comes to actually running your maps, then you basically this will be a case where it's like, because the only room I know I'm going to be opening is the Delirium room here, you can safely run him and it's not a big deal. For running blueprints, you don't typically want to use Gianna at all, just because she is she's not giving you any bonus like actually running blueprints. She gives you the discount, but she doesn't do anything for you once you're actually running her in blueprints, unless you're just trying to level her up still. You're better off running Niles basically for everything that you can. Add that Tibbs versus Huck. If you wanted some extra EXP or something, you could run Huck, but it doesn't really matter. So let's go ahead and run this one now. So for Heist, if you know there's only like one room that's kind of worth opening, like the armor rooms and the essence rooms, like you're not typically getting that much out of them. Like they're not going to be worth more than what you're going to be getting out of like the random chests just for the chances at getting like stacked decks. So you typically won't do that. When you get to a spot like this, when you see Divine, don't always just instantly click it. You could have like a Simplex Amulet back there. So make sure you're checking all 5 of your curios every time. First, check your Thieves Trinkets. Like if you don't have a Divine here, there's a lot of these Thieves Trinkets, like any of the ones that convert Chaos to Divines or Regals to Divines are like worth a lot. So make sure you're checking those. There will typically be a couple of safes that you can find in here. If you're having issues seeing them or clicking them, you can hit your Z to hide the overlays, and then you can just go and click on the safe much easier without accidentally clicking. And other than that, just once you've actually reviewed everything, to ensure there's nothing else you want, then you can go ahead and just take your reward, and you can just move on to the next room. So pretty much all you want on every single character that you are running is just going to be job speed. That's pretty much the best endgame thing here for basically everyone once they're all leveled up, is just job speed on everyone, just to kind of get you through things faster. Oh, he accidentally opened a chest for me, which is nice, but I'm not going to go out of my way to do the other stuff. If you are trying to level a lot and you don't have a reward that's big, you can go back and forth a couple of times and still get experience from the mobs and the blueprints, which again, they do have really, really high EXP. So if you're playing like a totem build or something, I was heisting on my Shockwave totem character for a while, just using Defiance, and it was really nice. So you can do that if you want to. So you can see here with Vendiri, again, just opening up one chest was already more than 25% of the thing here. I'm going to start to open this so I can open up one of these, and we'll just leave the other one for on the way out. Yeah, if you are trying to actually maximize your EXP, you do want to make sure that you're actually opening up every one of these rooms here, even if you're not actually going to go in and click any of the stuff, just because it'll basically spawn more monsters for you at the end. When you actually take the final thing, it will end up basically taking or giving you more monsters that are actually attacking you, so it can come in handy if you're just trying to EXP in here. What is this? Oh, another Divine. Okay. Oh, no. Mech Alarm Belt isn't going to be worth anything, I don't think. Let's double check, though. I know the Micro Distillery is going to be worth more, but I don't think the Mech Alarm is going to be. Nope. It's worth 5 chaos. Oh, Divine it is. Oops, I accidentally opened that other box. Oh well. Harbinger box, I guess, will not be getting opened. It's not a problem. On to the next room. This is the one. I don't think we're actually going to bother opening up any of these side chests here. So we can actually just be clicking on every small chest we see while we're waiting on stuff. Just because we're not going to be clicking on anything else here. So the big rooms aren't worth going into. They just don't really give enough, like, realistically. So we're not going to do that. And then again, with this build here, I don't need to worry about the traps, so I can run right through them on this. If you are going to do this, you know, again, getting a build with Defiance of Destiny and some defense will really help a lot for kind of doing the strategy of just ignoring all the traps, but you don't need to be doing that. It's not that big of a deal. Either way, to just spend the extra time to just wait for the trap. Once you get job speed on everyone, it really doesn't take that long to actually get through them. Replica Tesalios is about 10 chaos. The accumulator wand I don't believe is worth anything. The rolls on these are sometimes really nice, so do check them. But Replica Tesalios is 10 chaos, or I'll just take some scours and not have to sell anything, because you could always use more scours. So I don't really care about 10 chaos really at this point. Not that big of a deal. And we will go on to the next one here. So as you can see with this build, I can just take this stuff forever, and I'll just constantly be getting healed by the lasers. This is where Defiance really, really comes in handy. Yeah. Go on to the next. I have enough inventory space to do the last. This should be okay. So this is the one we were talking about before. We're only going to end up opening up this Delirium box here. So don't do that. So we can click on some smaller boxes on the way. Not a big deal. She is taking her time to do this. Is she stuck? She might actually be bugged. So if she ever gets bugged and stuck like this, just back off the thing and go back and click it again. Alright, let's go through. So not accidentally click that last chest. I don't feel like being rushed. So pretty much the replica items you're really looking for that are going to be worth a lot still. Replica ferrules. Replica... those boots. I don't even remember what they're called right now. They just make chaos damage, like for chaos damage strength scaling. Alberons, replica Alberon's path are worth a decent amount. I think replica cones might have value, so I'm just going to grab that. I know the rest of these are nothing though, so we're just going to take this. And there are some times where, like, if the last reward is just really, really trash, and you're playing on a build that is kind of sketchy, and the rest of the things that you've already gotten are decent enough value, you could always just leave without even ending this. It doesn't really matter. Alternatively, if you do end up getting yourself like a really, really nice drop, and you are, again, if you get something that's worth the divine more and you are worried about your build having any potential at actually dying, you can always just back out. As long as you back out before you grab the curio, you can just go back outside to lock the loot and then go right back inside. Take advantage of it that way. So if you have any questions about the build or the Atlas, leave them in the comments down below and I'll be more than happy to answer them. And other than that, see you in the next one.